A beautiful morning to you. You're welcome to Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. My name is Kinsley Mano. Very happy to be here this morning to bring you up to speed with the latest revolving around the beautiful world of sports. Top on our menu this morning, River Supers are ready for Nigerian Basketball League title defense. And coming in from Athletic, renovated sports facilities ahead of Sports National Sports Festival. And in football, Arsenal government set target over Libya as Eagles eyes AFCON qualification. There's and many more will be yours after this short timeout. Please stay with us and be right back.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
welcome back. Here's the Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network. And I told you, of course, that we have a lot for you this morning. So many exciting stories revolving around the beautiful world of sports. And joining me to take a look at, some of the interesting issues this morning in the world of sports is a veteran sport journalist in Port Harcourt, Mr. Peter Abaji. Good morning to you and welcome to the show. All right, thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Abaji. Very happy to have you this morning. Let's quickly move straight to what we have this morning as Rivers Hoopers will tip off their title defense when the 2024 Nigerian Premier Basketball League begins on 25th of October. According to a press statement released by the Nigerian Basketball Federation to all teams, the league will be held in two phases. The first phase and the final 8 Atlantic and Savannah conferences will be played in Benin and just respectively from 25th October to 3rd of November. Hoopers will play against Lagos Legends, Police Batons, Delta Force, Kwara Falcons, Comets, Oluyole Warriors, and Hoops and Reed in the Atlantic Conference in Benin. The top 4 teams from each of the conferences will advance to the final 8 bid for 13th to 19th of November and a yet to be decided venue. And the champion will represent Nigeria at the 2025 Basketball African League. Mr. Baji, what do you make of it? First, the Nigerian Basketball League is set to kick off soon. What do you make of the league this time?
Nigeria, continent of Africa, and the coach of the side, Ugo Odaudu, was have judged the coach of the tournament because nobody actually gave the mid last time. They still have a large chunk of the players that made the difference for them last season. Still intact for the next season that will begin a few weeks away from today. So for me, I expect them to take one game at a time. And the most important thing for them now is to qualify from the Atlantic Conference first before they can start thinking of becoming a champion once again. But they have everything working for them. They enjoy massive from the River State government. The after time that years for teams this and though they stay proud, they will not doubt to still remain with the team. For the team, consistency, has always been his work. So I do not expect anything from Ugo Odaudu and his boys when.
All right, Mr. Baji, of course, good one, of course, good one on Rivers Supers. What do you make of the organization of the league? I think it's been almost a year since, we saw the last edition of the basketball league down here in Nigeria. What do you make of the delay in the resumption of the basketball league down here in Nigeria?
Sponsorship is a major factor for major sporting events here in Nigeria, so it is not a surprise that it is pretty difficult for sporting events that run for a very long period of time not to start when they are supposed to start, in a good time. It's so disappointing that basketball, handball, and football don't start when they're supposed to start, in the country. Virtually all the ball games are suffer the same challenge, in the country. They have their window, the date for kickoff. You don't see the event, the league, start when it is supposed to start. Of of basketball, even football, in the country. So for me, it is not strange. The only thing that can be strange for us in this country is if when the only thing that can be strange for us in Nigeria, it is when basketball calendar, football calendar, handball calendar, starts at the exact date, that has been, marked out. If you say basketball is going to start on the 10th of October, let basketball start on the 10th of October. And that is only when we will say something strange has happened in Nigeria. But for us, because our calendars are usually not kept to by sports administrators, it has become a routine thing, a ringtone. So it's not strange to me that the season is not starting when it is supposed to start. And basketball players would have loved to see a regular season like football where they play home and away, but not when they all converge, at a particular venue to play about 6, 7, 8 matches in just 5, 6 days or less than 10 days. You see basketball players, burning out energy just to pick up points, in a particular center. But if you have River Supers, for example, travel to go play in Ilorin, travel to go play in Lagos, travel to go play in Benin, travel to go play in Bayelsa, and go at the southern part of the country, it makes the game much more exciting than it is today. You see, the game will enjoy followership. But in this case, in just less than 10 days, you're done with the Atlantic Conference, and you wait for the top 3 or top 4 to go play the top 6 or top 8, as the case may be. This will certainly not help the slam and dunk game to grow at the pace that we want it to grow in Nigeria.
All right. With that, Mr. Baji, what do you make of it? Do you think, with this, you think the players will be able to give their best, looking at the fact that some of them might be match rusty, not being played, haven't been, some of them have not been on the court for almost a year now. Do you think they were going to give their best, or you think some of them might be match rusty?
Their best should be better than what we saw them last time. For Rivers Hoopers, they were at a friendly invitational tournament recently. That should be like a tune-up games for them ahead of the season, like we have in football, a preseason tournament. So they have had one already. So I expect that to put them, in top shape. This stage of the competition, you don't have the complement of players from other clients playing for Rivers Hoopers. You're going to have largely players from the domestic scene, from the home front, and a couple of players from other parts of the country playing for them in this tournament. So they have a season coach already, so that is a plus for the team. And continuity, like I said earlier, is their watchword and consistency. They will only have themselves to blame. They don't make their presence at the Atlantic Conference in Benin.
All right, let's say it is. We'll hope for the best for River Supers and look forward to see if they'll be able to defend the title they won last time. But let's take a look at the situation of things as it concerns the National Sport Festival that comes up next year in Ogun State. We hear Ogun State government has commenced reconstruction and renovation works on the MKO Abiola International Stadium and the Aleke Sports Center, Ijele Abeokuta, head of for the National Sports Festival TAG 2024 Gateway Games. Speaking after inspecting the two facilities, the Commissioner for Sport Development, Honorable Wasiu Isaka, showed that the renovation works would be completed within the stipulated time and would be tested before the games. The scrubbing of the pitch at the main bowl of the stadium, the removal of the tantan tracks, as well as the roofs at the indoor hall for the Aleke Sports Center Ijeja are ongoing simultaneously as the commissioner led journalists to the site. He reviewed that the VIP section of the stadium would be expanded, while an Olympic-sized swimming pool, tennis courts, and handball courts would also be constructed inside the stadium. The commissioner noted that the current administration is intensifying its efforts to develop sports and youth development programs in the state, as well as to discover and nurture young talent. He highlighted the importance of harnessing the potential of the youths and channeling their energy into productive ventures for their personal success and the socio-economic gains of the state. Reiterating the government's commitment to organizing a world-class national sport festival, Honorable Saka submitted that the festival will bring together the best athletes from the state, inspiring the next generation of athletes, promoting the rich cultural heritage, and promising to reward outstanding performance. The National Sport Festival will be held between January 1st and January 26th, 2025, which is next year. Mr. Baji, what do you make of it? The stadium that will be used for the National Sport Festival is in construction as we speak. Do you think the job, of course, will be done before 2025? Because we have
Kingsley, if the picture that I saw on the screen is what the facility is at the moment, then I'm afraid that venue will not be ready for the National Sport Festival, next January. But if you say in another 1 year, will that facility be ready? Yes, I can tell you for free, it's going to be ready to host the next edition of the National Sport Festival. We have a very big challenge in this country when it comes to maintaining existing facility. You don't have to wait until few weeks or few months to the commencement of a big event like National Sport Festival before we embark on reconstruction works. Ogun State got the hosting rights for the National Sport Festival over 18 months, and for 18 months, and nothing was done on that facility. So it goes to show that they were not even ready when they bidded as host for the National Sports Festival. I think this should be a wake-up call to all the governors that we have in Nigeria. Let's not wait until after we've been given the hosting rights for the National Sports Festival before we go down to work. Like the Adokia Mismaka Sports Complex here in Rivers State, abandoned by the previous administration. I expect the current administration to swing into action. Look at the blueprint, the architectural design of that facility, and begin to renovate it. Let reconstruction begin there, because most of us is there, nothing to write them about. And I want to believe that that was the story of the facility in Abeokuta, the capital of Ogun State, before they got the hosting right. The facility was in very bad shape. That is why they have to embark on reconstruction work today. And to see that facility to be ready for use come January 2025, I have my fears. And one thing is sure going to happen. The National Sport Festival might have been postponed for another 3 months or 6 months, as the case may be.
But why is it difficult for we to maintain that, that fact that we have to maintain facilities, or probably put up facilities, for events, like this? Just like you talk about, maintenance culture has been something that we've not seen in Nigeria when it has to do with maintaining sporting facilities. We just have one standard stadium in the country, which is the Goslar Pabi International Stadium, and that's where the Super Eagles, of course, play their matches. That is where we even play CAF games. Why is it that we can maintain the facilities we have, and even at that, build more in the country? Is it that the resources are not there?
Kingsley, the resources are more than enough. As we speak, it is only if maintaining existing facility or building new one is not in the priority list of the governor of a state or the federal government, then nothing will happen. in that direction. Let's start from the center. We have the Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja, it's a government project. We have the National Stadium Surulere in Lagos, it's a federal government-owned facility. What has happened in these facilities in the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years as the case may be? When was the last time the Super Eagles of Nigeria played a competitive game at the National Stadium Surulere in Lagos? I think way back in 2002 or thereabouts. And when was the last time the Super Eagles played a competitive game at the National Stadium, Moshood Stadium in Abuja? Your guess is as good as mine. Some few years ago, at the UGSONX Stadium in Calabar was home to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. At some point, it was the Liberation Stadium, now Yakubu Gowon Stadium in Akot. But today, it is the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. So it's a shame that Nigeria, with about 200 million people in terms of population, the most populous black nation on the face of the earth, the most populous country on the continent of Africa, can only boast of one facility that can meet CAF and FIFA standards. So this goes to tell you that we have a long way to go in this country. Our appreciative Deep State governors also will start looking inwards at the existing facilities that they have. They have the resources. What is the budget for sports annually at the state level and at the center? You discover that year in, year out, we don't even utilize 30% of the budget for sports. So where does this money go to? If we are sincere to ourselves at the state level, at the center, and we implement 75-80% of the budget for sports annually, I tell you, we're going to have much more than 10 facilities, ready to go for CAF and FIFA organized competitions. We're going to have 10 facilities in the country ready to go to the national sport festival. Even big to almost continental or regional event, not just football alone. So you come to Port Harcourt, go to that became a different sporting event, but it is a shadow of what it was when it was conceptualized in 2010. It hosted the 2011 National Sport Festival. It wasn't ready then, and today, 12 years, 13 years after, there are still scaffolds hanging, at the back of the main pole of the Adokia Mesmaka Sports Complex. You go to other parts of the country, the story is the same for our facilities at the city sector. So we have to wake up. If you're a governor, sports is one sector that should not be politicized. We should not use it as a patronage to compensate our supporters by appointing them as sports commissioner or as sports minister. They will now come to office to learn the ropes, 1 year, 2 years, as the case may be, to learn the ropes. And after 4 years, there will be no significant progress or input in that particular sector. Let's start thinking of how to deliberately develop that sector. Because if we have, standard facilities, you can imagine the number of youth, idle youth that they take up the street, who will go make use of these facilities to train, to practice, so as they can become, state, national, African, and world champion, in the nearest future, until they will begin to be deliberate about developing sports in the country. We'll continue to go around this circle, and every state that win the hosting rights for the National Sport Festival will certainly request for a postponement, because the facilities will not be ready at the stipulated date when they won the hosting rights.
All right, Mr. Abaje, I know we have to let you go. You're a very busy person, but before you go, what do you make of it tomorrow? Super Eagles of Nigeria will be national against Libya at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium. What do you make of that preparation? Do you see them getting ahead of Libya in that encounter?
I enjoy, the chemistry, in the team, the togetherness in the team, the unity in the team. And I think Austin Eguavoen has done a pretty job, in just 2 games. This is going to be the 3rd one in charge temporarily. And Truth Ekong is just truly, a leader, in the team at the moment. I saw pictures of the players celebrating with Ola Aina on his birthday. It does show that, yes, these guys are actually together. They have one purpose. I know he's so committed to the Super Eagles of Nigeria. You hear him talking about we don't want to go to the finals again. We want to go and win and qualify for the World Cup. Finals. They have set a standard for themselves. And not standards. A target set for the coaches. I'm so happy that these players they have a standard set for themselves. That cannot be. Nothing can be as motivating as that one. So for me, they should go past Libya, tomorrow. They should top their group for the qualifiers. And our only sign is to see them the energy they are putting in the AFCON qualifiers so far. I want to see double of that energy when they reconvene for hostilities in the World Cup qualifiers, because we cannot afford not to be at the next edition of the World Cup final. So tomorrow's game for the Super Eagles of Nigeria.
All right, since talking about the players, Mr. Abaje, what do you make of it? Everyone is of the opinion that, not everyone to say, but some people are of the opinion that Maduka Okoye should be in between the sticks, taking a look at the fact that he has been in a very impressive form for his side, club side, Udinese in the Italian Serie A. And a lot of persons are the fact that this is just Libya. The Super Eagles can easily get past them. So why not bring in Maduka Okoye? We understand Stanley Nwabali has been fantastic, but I don't know what you make of it. Should Maduka Okoye be given a chance in this encounter?
Stanley Nwabali remains the first choice goalkeeper of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. He remains the number one goalkeeper for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. This is not a friendly match. The back line are much more confident at the moment with Stanley Nwabali between the sticks. Until Stanley Nwabali starts misbehaving, start conceding goals that even goalkeepers at under 13, under 14 levels will not concede. That is when you start thinking about bringing Maduka Okoye, between the sticks. And no coach who wants to drop into your first choice goalkeeper because he plays in Africa and you have another goalkeeper that plays in Europe. Don't forget how Stanley Nwabali came into the team. Francis Udor used to be the first choice goalkeeper. His performances was filled with calamities, and somewhere along the line, Stanley Nwabali was recommended to the Super Eagles handler. They saw him, yet he had some weaknesses. They worked on it. We also saw his performance at the Nations Cup finals, and we started saying, yes, for once in a long while, we now have a goalkeeper who is as confident as Vincent Eyama between the sticks. And it's going to take a long while for Stanley Nwabali, whether he's playing in Africa, to lose his number one threat to Maduka Okoye. Yes, Okoye has matured over the years. We saw when he was between the sticks for the Super Eagles, I was considered cheap goals, and Nigeria scored for a head. Now you cannot begin to say because he plays in Udinese, he's been doing pretty well for his club side, then he should man the post for the Super Eagles because he's in Europe. Stanley Nwabali is right here in Africa. The South African League is far, far better than what we have here in Nigeria. They might not have quality of players that we have here, but in terms of coaching, in terms of organization, they are way ahead of the Nigeria Premier League. So for me, Stanley Nwabali will remain the number one goalkeeper of the Super Eagles of Nigeria. If I want to be the coach, he will continue to man the post for the Super Eagles until it begins to lose, self-confidence and self-worth.
All right, we understand the rifts between the assistant coaches, talking about Daniel Ogumodede and Fidelis Lechiko. I don't know if you've got any reports. Have they settled? Because we saw them in the training ground the other day, all smiling. It's all now well between Daniel Ogumodede and Fidelis Lechiko.
Club football is totally different from a national team football. What is the flagship base of Rangers International Football Club of Enugu in Nigeria today? I doubt they have up to 1 million followers. And what is the followership base of Remo in Nigeria today? I doubt if they have up to 500,000 followers here in Nigeria. But when you ask yourself, what is the followership base of the Super Eagles of Nigeria? It is the entire country. It doesn't matter whether you're a Muslim, you're a Christian, from the north, from the south, east, or west. And even supporters of the Super Eagles in diaspora, you can't imagine the number of followership that the Super Eagles of Nigeria enjoys each time they fight out to play. So whatever they had was at the club level. Yes, coaches can scream at each other when the officiating does not go their way. When it comes to the national team setup, you have to put your difference behind you. Otherwise, it will affect the chemistry in the national team setup. So we'll send them. They are both jolly good fellows, and they are enjoying their fun in the national team. This is an opportunity for them to also learn from someone who has been there before, talking about Austin Guavoin, who knows in the nearest future, any of them might be given the opportunity to manage the Super Eagles of Nigeria. So Nigerians are watching, because stories will be told tomorrow. When you were assistant to Guavoin, you made life difficult for the head coach, because the two of you brought your differences at the club level and to the national team. So they know it's a different ball game when they go to get justice done to the business of the Super Eagles of Nigeria from the dugout. So I really appreciate how they have put their differences behind them, because Nigeria has to work, have to get groove back. We have to regain our lost glory on the continent. We have to be just true, the giants of Africa, not just in football, but across other sports on the continent. And economically, we want to get our groove back. Football is a shining light that we have in the country today, so we must put all our energies to get to making sure that yet we have 5 performances each time we are called to duty to go represent our fatherland.
All right. No Victor Osimhen. Should Nigerians be worried for tomorrow's encounter?
We have Victor Boniface.
Okay.
Boniface has been tremendously well for his team by Leverkusen. We've seen him scored fantastic goals, and most at times how you play at the club level is different. How your team shape the club level is different from how you shape up the national team level, because you have players from different club sides coming together within 3, 4, 5 days to train and to play together. But something tells me that if Victor gets the chance to start tomorrow, he will open his goals account for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Is yes, personal opinion, more skillful than Victor Osimhen. Yes, Victor Osimhen, you have to run for 90 minutes to mark him, because he doesn't stand in a particular position. He moves from one end of the pitch to the other, from one end of the 18-yard box, to the other. As for me, Victor Boniface is going to start tomorrow. If he gets to start, will appreciate that he's focused so that he can score and take advantage of the absence of Victor Osimhen to score his first goal for the Super Eagles of Nigeria tomorrow. All
right, thank you very much, Mr. Badji. We really do appreciate your time with us this morning.
My pleasure, Kingsley.
All right, thank you. All right, that was Mr. Badji Potako, sports veteran, giving us his take on the situation of things as it concerns the National Sports Festival, and the River Super is looking forward to defend the title they won last time. Talked about the Nigerian Basketball League, and as well as the preparation of the Super Eagles of Nigeria ahead of the encounter tomorrow against Libya. We'll take a break now. We'll come back from the break, of course, to bring you all the issues revolving around the beautiful world of sports. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back. Steve Sports Talk on Atlantic Television Network, and we'll bring you the latest revolving around the beautiful world of sport. Joining me as well this morning to take a look at some issues revolving around the beautiful world of sport is Emmanuel Michael. Michael, good morning to you, and thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to join you, Kingsley, and to talk sport this morning.
Guavon is targeting double against Libya, looking forward to get 6 points in the encounter against Libya. What do you make of it? Do you see that to be reality?
Yes, of course. I think it is a prime target for us, because if we are targeting 6 points, it means that we are going to go 10 points, then leaving Rwanda and the Benin Republic to battle for the second spot, because if we get all 6 points, it will add to 4 that we have already, and that is going to be 10 points. Then Benin Republic, that is seated second with 3 points. If they get to win their double header as well, that will give them a total of 6 points, adding to the 3 that they have already. That is 9 points, and they will still be trailing behind Nigeria on 10 points. Then if Rwanda get to win a double header, you know, that will give them 6 points, adding to what they have already, a point, and you know, they will still be below Nigeria. So for me, I think it's a a realistic target for me, and that is what we need to do. Get all 6 points home and away, and sit comfortably at the top of the summit, because we just have only 2 games left after the game. So for me, I think it's a realistic target. Coming up against Libyan side, I think for me it should be a win-win game for us.
Win-win game, of course, for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I'll look forward to see how that one, of course, will pan out. And I tell you, the AFCON qualifiers, of course, is on already, and we're going to be seeing some matches today. Today we'll see Cape Verde against Botswana. Promises to be another exciting encounter as well to watch out for today in the AFCON qualifier. Algeria against Togo. We'll also see Ghana as well against Sudan today. So the AFCON qualifiers is on, and we're going to be seeing some interesting matches. But Michael, Cape Verde, they've been one side in Africa that has improved when it has to do with football. You see them, of course, smashing Botswana today.
For me, it's going to be a very tough game. But if you take a look at the last exploit of Cape Verde in the last African Cup of Nations, they were able to surpass so many expectations out there. They are a very rising side when you talk of football right here in Africa. It's a small island, but then they are making good use of the few talents that they have out there. Very compact team, very, very smart and technical on the ball. We saw that in the last AFCON at the Ivory Coast out there. So I hope that Cape Verde can also get all 3 points, but then it is not going to be an easy one. African football, how tough it is always.
I will tell you first, Algeria against Togo, but Ghana look once against Sudan. Ghana, they've been a struggling side, for some time now. Under Otto Addo, the coach of the side. You see Sudan shocking them as well today.
Shock is something that is inevitable in the game of football. But if you actually take a look at how the Ghanaian fans have been very, very angry and dissatisfied with the performance of the Black Stars, I think this match is going to be a wake-up call. It is going to be a make or a break game for the Black Star players out there. Don't forget last time out when they lost at home, their fans they actually chased them down to the tunnel, pelted some sort of sachet water on them and different kind of fireworks out there. In fact, they actually chased them down to the dressing room. If not for the security guard that were able to ward off some of those vociferous attack from their fans out there. So this time around, I think they are going to make amends for that. I saw most of their key players, Ayew, the likes of Mohamed Kudus, Lapte, training very hard over 2 days right now, and putting themselves in shape to ensure that they avoid what would seem to be a calamitous outing for them. So for me, I think Ghana, they should get all 3 points, at least to douse the tension and give their fans some hope.
Let's say it goes, of course, for the Black Stars of Ghana today in the AFCON qualifiers. We also see DR Congo against Tanzania today, and of course Namibia against Zimbabwe. We'll see Burkina Faso against Burundi. Those are the matches to be expecting today in the AFCON qualifiers, and of course we hope for the best, for these teams today. But one man, of course, we told you will be missing in that Super Eagles squad ahead of the Libya encounter this week, and of course it's Victor Osimhen. But the man has come up with a report that he will be back in action on the 19th of October, and we understand he sustained an injury in that 3-0 draw we saw for Galatasaray against Kasim Pasa, and of course in Turkey. But the man has said on the 19th he'll be back with his team, and this has brought so much joy to the fans of Galatasaray, Michael.
Yeah, not just to the fans of Galatasaray, but to the fans of Super Eagles, because if you ask, if you sample opinion from 10 Nigerian Super Eagles fans right now about who to start if Victor Osimhen was fit alongside Victor Boniface, Taiwo Awoniyi, or even Kelechi Iheanacho, I think 8% out of that 10 we also pick Victor Osimhen ahead of Victor Boniface or even Taiwo Awoniyi. So it's not just a good news for the Galatasaray fans, but for the Super Eagles fans as well. I think we wish him well. Of course, you know how the Galatasaray fans out there have been very, very emotional and very, very for Victor Osimhen, especially the way Victor Osimhen was able to endear himself, among the fans out there. So it's a very big news for Galatasaray.
Of course, very cheery news for Galatasaray. But away from Osimhen, we hear French forward Kylian Mbappe has been named Real Madrid Player of the Month for September. Mbappe, who joined Madrid for free this summer, pipped Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo goes Daniel and Dani Carvajal and Elder Militao to the monthly award. The 25-year-old scored 6 times for the Los Blancos in 5 matches across all competition, including 4 goals in 4 La Liga matches in the month under review. Mbappe scored a brace in Madrid 2 goals to no win over Real Betis in their opening game in September, and he bagged 1 goal each in their victories over Real Sociedad, Espanyol and Alaves. The former Paris Saint-Germain forward has scored 7 goals and provided 1 assist in 11 appearances for Real Madrid. This is impressive, Michael. Player of the month of September after Real Madrid down there.
I think it's an impressive one for Kylian Mbappe after that switch from Paris Saint-Germain to his boyhood club, where he has loved when he was even a teenager. And starting at the La Liga side, it wasn't an instant success in the first 2 games for Kylian Mbappe. At some point, there was this talk that Mbappe cannot fit into the Madrid squad, but then I think from the games we've seen him play so far, and from his partnership with Vinicius Jr., Jude Bellingham, and Rodrigo, we've seen it very clearly that they are very, very compact and very okay. And we are seeing the result is banging in the goals, winning the Madrid Player of the Month, truly deserving. I think for me, it is going to be maybe a tip of the iceberg from what we are going to see from the boot of Kylian Mbappe.
All right, let's quickly stay away from Mbappe as we hear former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp has a new role as a head of football operations at Red Bull, which owns the Leipzig, Salzburg and New York clubs. The company said yesterday, and the 57-year-old will start his tenure on January 1st, 2025. According to a statement released by the Austrian energy drink brand, and yesterday, club will not interfere in the day-to-day business of the clubs, but rather take on a higher-level strategic position. So, former Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp, Michael, set to return to football come next year. This time in another dimension.
Yeah, this time in a more like an administrative role, not the dugout. Of course, you said it before he left Liverpool that he's running out of energy and need a place where you go and refill some energy. In administrative, cadre, you don't have to run out of energy because you are not standing on the touchline. But then you may have to run out of energy mentally because administrative duty come with a whole lot of thinking outside the box. And so for me, I think it is a good one for him. It goes a whole long way to relieve the pressure of being, running out of energy. This time around with a clause that if the German national team side come calling, is definitely going to leave the role. So that is the clause that is attached to that. So it would be more like looking out for players' development and some scouting players as well. So for me, I think it's a great one to have Jurgen Klopp back on the system of football.
All right, we hear that Liverpool goalkeeper Alisson Becker is expected to be sidelined for around 6 weeks due to a hamstring injury, ruling him out of key matches against Chelsea and Arsenal Football Club. I will hope that the man gets a quick recovery and see how Liverpool will be able to blend with it. But aside from the African Cup of Nations, there will be some UEFA Nation League games, and we'll see Israel against France, also Italy against Belgium, England will lock ons against Greece, and we'll see Finland against Ireland. Those are some of the fixtures, of course, we'll be expecting. But we'll make a return by 6 p.m. We'll take a look at some of these matches and see where the pendulum, of course, will swing to. But Michael, been an impressive time this morning talking sport with you.
Yeah, always a pleasure doing this with you.
All right, we're back 6 p.m. Sport Extraordinary will, of course, make a way down here, and we'll try to bring you the latest revolving around the beautiful world of sport. We'll try to look at the preparation of Super Eagles ahead of tomorrow's encounter against Libya. Don't forget, based on Unisol with the pathways that to progress. You can go down to different social media handles. The conversation, of course, continues right there. My name is Kingsley Emmanuel. Thanks for watching.